Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome to Evision Technical Private Limited. Today we are going to discuss about cable. In the further classes, or we can say in the further session, we have discussed about the things called introduction of networking. We have gone through the term called types of network, and now we are going to discuss about the cable. Although cable is the eighth point inside our networking devices that we are covering over here. Now, if you are investing such a huge amount over here, so what is going to be the agenda like before going on the further session for the time investment for you everything? What is the agenda that we are going to discuss over here? The agenda that we are going to discuss is what is cable, types of cable, and explanation about the types about all this agenda. What is going to be the outcome? What is the benefit you are going to get? The benefit that you are going to get over here, you will be understanding what is called as cable, why it works, why it is important, why it is used, for what purpose it is used over there, at which place which kind of the cable we are using, what kind of connectors we are having in this networking segment, and why they are and what for what thing they are responsible for, right? These are the outcomes, and they are the multiple outcomes that can be derived from your own side, from our end as well, when we are involve ourselves in this discussing zone. That is what it says. So these are the some basic outcome that give you the some idea key, like, no, it's really important term to understand about the cable, because without the cable we cannot work, or we cannot think about the any point. We cannot think. Why? If I say you want to glow a bulb, you want to glow a bulb, then what you need? You need current, and the current can only flow inside an electricity cable. So you need the cable. To glow a bulb, you need a cable. That is why the cable is important part at every section. So these are the few basic of the outcome that appears over here. But trust me guys, there's a lots of thing that when you start digging, when you start studying, you will get lots of things like that. So without wasting our further time, let's start what the digging section. We are over here, so let's start the thing. So here the first thing appears, what is cable? Or the cable is also called as Ethernet cable. So we can also say what is Ethernet cable. So it allows the user to connect the devices such as computer, mobile phones, router, etc. Right? Etc. For what? To share some information and establish internet connectivity among them. Right? This device help us to carry or transmit the signals between the connected devices over here. This is about the cable we have. Okay. So we all know just the example that the statement that I have given. We use the things called to glow the bulb. We need the electricity cable where the current flows. So in the same way, when we are trying to establish the connectivity where we want to share some information, where we want the internet connections, where we want to transmit our signals, so we need some medium. We need something that can make our things to travel from one place to another. In the same way, we say if we want to ride a bike, so we need a road. We cannot ride a bike over the any kind of the a path that we are having on the a walking path or the walking street. You cannot ride a bike or the car. If I say if we want to travel with the train in the specific area, so the route, the connection of the railway tracks need to be present on that point, need to be present where we are traveling, because the train cannot travel the train cannot run at any point. It need its own track. In the same way, for sharing our data, for sharing our signals, for sharing the information which carry the amount of data, we need the cable. The cable meaning everywhere. The cable means everything. You can say in the cable we are having the electricity, we are having the data. So here we are talking about the data one, that says the ethernet, that says the ethernet, which is responsible for carrying the data from one place to another, which is responsible for sending the signals from one place to another, signals which stores the data. So the whole purpose, the whole things surround surrounding towards the cable, surrounding towards the data only. This is what the things called as. Okay. This is what the things is. When you are connecting your cell phone with your laptop, with that data cable, that we say data cable, Ethernet cable. That is the point. Responsible for sharing the data with your laptop, with your mobile phone. This is what the statement says. Okay. So this is the whole function of the cable that we see inside that. These are the definition. Key what is cable over here. Now, as in the electricity mode, we are having lots of devices. We are having screw devices. We are having uh, lots of the devices that are responsible for constructing the cable, for joining, for maintaining the points. In the same way, we are having the devices over here that responsible for building the connections, that responsible for building the things. What are the things we have? We have one device called as crimping tool. We are having one device called as crimping tool over here. Now, what is crimping tool? In the another term, we call this crimping tool as a puncher as well. We call this crimping tool as a puncher as well. So here you can see, you are having a cutter. Here you can see you are having a cutter. So cutter for what? Cutter for cutting the cable, cutter for cutting the outer jacket. This is the hinge that we say, hinge, H-I-N-C-H. So this is the hinge that is used for removing the upper jacket, straightening the cable, maintaining the positioning of the cable. And here the white color devices that you are seeing over here, this is called as your punching point, where we insert the cable with the connectors, where the connectors are punched. What type of connectors? So we are having two types of connector. One connector called RJ11, one connector called as RJ11. So these are so RJ11 means registered jack 11, means registered jack 11. Right. So this is the registered jack 11 which is widely used in the landlines, and we are having one more called as RJ45, and this RJ45 is widely used in LAN networks. In LAN networks, right? This is the RJ45 we have. This is the RJ45 we are having. This is thing called. And after punching these two cable, after punching these two segment, what we are having? We are having the device called as tester. We are having a device called tester. So this is the tester. This is your tester, right? So this tester is responsible for what? This tester is responsible for testing the point. Testing the point what? Okay, whatever the RJ45 and RJ11 cable we have built, so that is going to work fine in our networking segment or not. This is what it says over here. This is known as a LAN and cable tester. So this LAN and cable tester, this LAN and cable tester is a battery operated device. Trust me guys, it is a battery operated device. What it says, you just need to insert the port. You just need to insert the connector that you have built over here, RJ11 or RJ45. That's it. You insert it. This point need to be inserted, and here any point. You can turn it on. You can turn it on. As you turn on, it will show you the LED lights over here. If on both the end the lights goes green, it means that your cable that you have constructed is very well, that is not having any set of the problem. If any point, if any point turns out red, if any point turns out red, that means you need to construct the cable again. So this is the tester which is used to test the cable, which is used to test the port, which is used to test the connector, if that is going to correct or not, that is going to work perfectly fine or not, that is good or not. That is what the thing is called as over here. Okay. So this is how you can test it. So these are the some devices that are responsible for building the cable. Now these are the devices responsible for building the cable, means what type of cable, which cable we are talking about. So we are having about the types of cable. So these things are responsible for building the types of cable. In the types of cable, we are having three types. First one called as your coaxial cable, used for broadcasting. Means we are having BNC connectors and all, right? Second, we are having twisted pair cable. Twisted pair cable used in LAN networks. It uses RJ45 connectors, right? It is of two types. STP, called as shielded twisted pair. We are having UTP, called as unshielded twisted pair. These are two things we are having. And again, the last one says fiber optic cable. Fiber optic cables is for forecasting signals. SMF stands for single mode fiber. MMF, we are having multi mode fiber. These are things. These are the types of cable we have. And about this type of the things we'll be discussing right over here, right now. Right. This is the thing we have. Now, without wasting our further time, let's start from the first called as coaxial cable. Right. So the coaxial cable. Now, allow me for a minute, guys. Let me write down its point and then we will involve in the explanation. So this is the definition of the coaxial cable. Let me show you how does it looks like. So you all have seen this kind of the cable. You all have seen this cable. I'm confident over here. You all have seen this cable. Like we are very familiar with this cable since our childhood. Like when we used to get our TV connections, when we used to get our Dish TV or Tata Sky connection. So this type of the cable are used comes at our house at the in the bundles of the states. Okay. So the connectors we have in BNC connectors. BNC stands for, okay. This is the thing over here. So as I said, we all are familiar about this kind of the cable since our childhood. So this is the thing over here, right? CAL. I just made one mistake. Let me, yes, over here, electrical CAL over here, right? This right. So this is what the coaxial cable we have. So this coaxial cable we have seen that this is the cable which is used for connecting our televisions. We used to connect the set-top box. We used to connect with the antennas. That is what the coaxial cable is used for. The coaxial cable is used for sending the high frequency electrical signals which can be transmitted via air, or which can transmit to for the longer distance, means for the broadcasting state. So this is the cable which is widely used when we are talking about the telsets, when we are talking about the antennas, to establish the connectivity, right? To establish the connectivity. And this particular cable is used for only one purpose. One coaxial cable means the one purpose, either for sending, either for the receiving of the data. Where you are saying ki you want to receive the data, so you will be having the one separate cable. Whether you are saying ki I want to send the data, you are going to have the one separate cable over the thing. Over this called as a coaxial cable, right? So this is a coaxial cable which is used for like tailsets, antennas for the broadcasting purpose, and this is widely used by the our research centers where they are using the lots of the satellites, they are having lots of the antennas there, you are having lots of the tailsets where they send the electrical signals towards the space, electrical signals towards the space. The transmission speed of this coaxial cable is up to the 10 Mbps per second, and it uses the 10 base 2 and 10 base 5 Ethernet variant. What are the 10 base 2 and 10 base 5 Ethernet variant? The 10 base 2 and 10 base 5 Ethernet variant says 10 represents the transmission speed, 2 and 5 says the minimum connection you can do over the coaxial is 2 and the maximum that you can go on 5. That is the thing. Maximum I can connect the user over the single coaxial cable is 5 and the minimum I can go on 2. If I go with the 6, it is not going to give you. We have also seen this thing in our real life as well. When the person is coming to our house, like when coming to at our house for establishing the connectivity with our dish TV and one, so he went to our set-top box where like the TV, he used to check the network strength. He used to check the channel strength. We have seen in the channel strength we get the speed up to the Mbps. We are getting the good one. So even that strength is up to the mark, then he leave the thing as it is. If it is not up to the mark, he again go to the rooftop and he will again adjust the antenna. He will again calibrate that to give you the correct strength, because you are the one user. So approximately you should get the 8 to 9 Mbps per second over the coaxial cable. That is what it says over here. Here are the different sets of the connectors that are being used to establish the connectivity. And even though this coaxial cable says it is designed for the low losses, but we have seen when we are having the winter season, when we are having the rainy season, so it creates the losses. Like in the cloudy area, in the cloudy region, it doesn't give us the proper strength. in the rainy season it doesn't able to transmit, like that the companies also says ki just in the rainy season don't turn on your TV because we are having the charges due to the lightning, due to the term, the charges are present, that is all the consist of the electricity only, that the electricity term, right? So this is what the thing says over here in the coaxial cable. So in the coaxial cable we are having the terms for broadcasting, for connection of the TVs and connection, especially for the connection of the tel sets. Over here we are having the coaxial cable we use like to overcome with such kind of the substances, overcome with the such type of the things. What we say, we go for the extra caring, extra rolling of the things, like in the rainy season, in the uh, winter season, it doesn't create the any set of losses. It losses, but bearable losses, not the huge loss that we say, it's the bearable losses. So this is about the coaxial cable. So this is the thing. Okay. So this is widely used by the NASA's, ISRO, DRDO, all your TV channels persons. Like you all have seen the van that consists of the antenna at the top, that news channel van that can go from one place to another and they can broadcast by sitting at any point, right? That actually the bunch of coaxial cable they are having. The devices that they are having inside that particular van, all the devices are connected with each other over the coaxial cable. That is the thing over here. This is what the coaxial cable says. I hope this thing is good. So now let's move towards the next cable called as twisted pair cable. Now the twisted pair cable is long. Okay. So what we are doing, we are just give me the few minutes. Okay. I'm just pausing the video over here and I'm coming back with the content over here. Right. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. So I just pause the video, like you can see the how long the content is over here. So I need to type it over here on the running, and obviously that video is going to so long. I don't want to make that much long over here because uh, the thing need to be benefited, not long. Okay. So over here, let's back to the point. So the coaxial cable. So we have discussed about the coaxial cable. Now we are going to discuss about the term called the twisted pair cable. What the twisted pair cable is? So in the coaxial cable, we have discussed कि one cable for one purpose. What if I want to do the both things over the same cable? What if I want to send and receive the data at single point? So we are having a twisted pair cable. So it is a copper wire which is the insulated and it is the twisted around each other and reduce the interface and of cross. What does it mean? So like those like over here might be some of you have observed कि while riding the bike over the road or over the national highways, you are going for the long distance, when someone is overtaking you with the greater speed than you, someone is overtaking, so for a meanwhile you attracted towards them, for a meanwhile you get attracted, like over the bike it happens a lot. You don't feel over the car, but you will feel over the bike. Okay, you attract towards them, then that you don't go, you handle the point, you attract. The motive of the thing to explain over here, the motive of the things to say this statement over here is that ki whenever the things are traveling on the same path, when any kind of the things are traveling on the same path, they will attract with each other. They will attract with each other. That is the thing we are having. Ki over the straight path, over the single cable with over the straight cable, when we say ki the data is going to travel, so what the data do? The data attract towards each other. So the point comes when the both the things involved in the same job, where we have designed the two things for the two purpose, but the time will come when the two things combine for the same purpose, whether they will act as a sending or there whether it will act as a receiving. Now at the point of turning, at the point of curve, when we are taking the turn, at what speed you are, you will never ever feel attracted. Why? Because you are having your own sets of the turn, you are having your own environment at that point, you are on the curve. So that is the curve is creating the difference, that point of the curve is creating the difference. That is what the curve says in that part of twisting. So when we twist the cable around each other, it generally creates a variance in the traveling of the data, that called as twisted pair cable. That is the interference and crosstalk very reduced. Now it uses the 10 base T Ethernet variant. The 10 base T Ethernet variant means 10 represents the transmission speed. The 10 represents the transmission speed. The T says types of twisted pair cable in which topology. The T says type of twisted pair cable in which topology, right? So we are going to discuss about the types of topology, sorry, types of twisted pair cable, and about the topology we are going to discuss in the next session. So over here it uses the RJ45 connectors, right? It uses RJ45 connector, the RJ45 connector that we have seen. Now it is of two types, STP and UTP. STP called as shielded twisted pair cable. Now shielded twisted pair cable. So the shielded twisted pair cable says all the cable that you are having, that the cable are shielded around each other before twisting, after twisting. Before twisting the cable is also get twisted, and after twisting the cable also get twisted, because this is the cable which is designed for a high life cycle, for a, like high durable, and for the longer distance, and for a sending, for the transmission of high transmission rate. This is a cable which is widely used over the cell phone towers. You all have seen the cell phone tower, right? You all have seen the cell phone tower. The cell phone tower devices are connected how? All that particular devices are connected at what point? That all the devices are connected at that point by using the STP cable. Because this STP cable required the very low maintenance. Once in a blue moon, we need to change it, but not every time. This is the cable which is used for underground wiring, underground cabling of a networking system. That all the cell phone tower are connected with each other in a wide cabled way. That is the reason we are able to transmit. That is why we are able to make a call to any point at any part of the India, because everyone is connected with each other. So with the help of STP cable. So it requires very less maintenance, and it is used for very long purpose. It is having the very huge set of durability due to the foil shield. And the foil shield is done because it doesn't know ki at what point what set and what amount of the data we are going to send. Might be you all have seen ki when we are having a cable, if it is not able to handle the load, to it start melting. In the same way it happens with our networking cable as well. If our cable is not able to handle that much load, so it will start melting. So from that point, that we called as leakage of a data. So by covering that point as well, for making the things good, we foil it. That is done in the STP cable. Now the next cable that we are having is our UTP. The next cable that we are having is our UTP. UTP stands for Unshielded Twisted Pair Cable. Now, this unshielded twisted pair cable is having the cable only twisted around each other. Apart from that, nothing as such. Only the wires twisted around, just to create the just to reduce the interference and the crosstalk. This is the cable which is mostly used inside the network segment at present time, where we use this set of the cable. This set of the cable is widely used and mostly used in the networking as the present time, if we want to implement, deploy a network segment inside a particular building or inside a room. We don't use this type of cable for the outside purpose, not in our dreams as well. Because this cable which required the high set of maintenance. Why? So suppose you purchase a unshielded twisted pair cable from a market, and you just keep it in your locker. Okay, I'll be used when I will get when like after few days. I'll be using after the few days, and after few days you are just coming and you are trying to use that cable. That is not transmitting any set of the data. What happened to that? The cable is not working. So like the electricity, we are not having such kind of term ki just cut it from one point to the another and join it again and it will be start working. Nothing as such. Once the cable is not working, replace the whole cable. That is what the UTP says. So UTP is nothing as such. It is having the very good life cycle, and it is required the very low maintenance. No, once it is running, so okay, it's running. For how long it is going to work, for how long it is going to do, no one is having the commitment over there. It can work for 6 years, or it can work for 6 hours, or it is going to work for 6 minutes. No one is having that much point. Okay. So this is the kind of UTP cable. So that is why we use it inside the insider purpose and we used for deploying it over the particular building or particular room. If anything happens then we can easily remove it and we can easily insert the new one. And according to our uses, we are having this type. So cat represents the category, and here is the things. According to the use, according to the transmission term, we pick the UTP. Yeah, how much load we are looking for and how much load we are thinking. We are having 7-8 types more over here. These are the 6 types that is mentioned over here on the screen. That is important. But if you want to go, you can find it out. So this is the whole purpose of this thing over here, right? According to the speed, according to the term, according to the need, we picked and we implemented and we used to connect. This is inside the twisted pair cable. The one more thing inside the twisted pair cable is that how we are going to construct the RJ45 means, okay, when we are having the one cable, so it is quite easy to connect with the connector. But in the RJ45, we are having the 8 color combination. How we are going to connect? We are having blue, orange, white, orange, brown, white, brown, green, white, green. How we are going to do so? How we are going to do these things? So we are going to perform this thing with the help of technique called as cabling technique. What we called as cabling technique. In the cabling technique, we are having 3 things. One is called a straight. Straight is used for when we want to connect to different devices together. When we want to connect two different devices together. Different devices, yes. Hub to switch, switch to router, router to hub, hub to bridge is the thing. We are having cross. When we want to connect two similar devices together. When we want to connect two similar devices together. Similar devices, yes. Hub to hub, switch to switch, router to router, bridge to bridge. That is the thing. And the last one says rollover. Rollover means console cable. Console cable, the cable which are having two different endpoints within a single cable. Two different endpoint within a single cable. It is called as console cable. Just like you have seen, you all have seen for playing a music. You all have used that, like the DJ one, the DJ box, the DJ office, like the DJ one, like having their cable called as aux cable. So actually, in their device, they need the like very what should I use that? The they have their two sets of, like, you can insert the aux cable inside your phone. Okay, that is the point we are having over here. So even in your data cable, the charging data cable that you're having, one side is your USB, one side is your type C. That is also the console cable. So here on the screen, the cable is also, I hope that the thing is visible. So over here, this is called as rollover cable. Within a one cable, you can see you are having one side is your USB, one side is your Ethernet cable, means the console cable. All the converters, RJ45 to HDMI, HDMI to RJ45, your SATA to PATA converters, every converters that we are having, that all comes under the rollover. So here we are just going to see the rollover technique, which is responsible for sharing of the data, not for sharing the electricity as well. So here the data is being transferred. Every set of the functions of the converters that we are having this cabling technique, but according to the purpose, according to the things, our coding got changes. Our coding differs. So here we are just going to look about the color coding about every single technique. Okay, every single technique. So let's start with this point. So over here, we are going to have straight cabling color combination, the straight cabling color combination. In the straight cabling color combination, we are having point A, so it helps with white orange, white blue, green, brown. These are the cable we are having. Okay, this is the one point we are having. Let's go with another point. We are having white orange, orange, white green, blue, white blue, green, white brown, brown, brown over here. This is the thing we have, right? So this is the straight cabling color combination, and the picture is over here. This is called as straight cabling color combination. Next one we are having cross cabling. So let me write it down as well. This is the thing we have, right? This belongs to our cross cabling color combination. So we have discussed about this thing, and one more point I want to make it clear over here. So this is the color combination that you are seeing over here. So this color combination always says about the connection point over the cable. So there is nothing as such key then explanation needed. No, there is nothing as kind of explanation needed over here. Okay. There's all the things that need to be discussed, that all need to be understood by you. So you all need to remember this is the hard coding. That is the combinations, the color sections is not going to change at any point. It is not going to change at any point. This is the hard coded that you all have to remember. And every color is responsible for its own purpose. So now let's move towards the next thing called as rollover cabling color combination. This is the thing we have. This is a rollover cabling color combination, right? So this rollover cabling color combination that we have seen key 1.1 cable with the different points. So this is over here. This is a rollover that we have. So this is the thing all about your twisted pair cable. So in the twisted pair cable, this color combination that we have discussed. So this color combinations is responsible for only one point. Responsible for only one point. For what? For your data transmission inside the twisted pair cable, where we are only using these color combinations for the data transmission, not for the other purposes. So these combinations belong to data transmission, not only all. And inside only the twisted pair cable, not outside the twisted pair cable at every point. No, only inside the twisted pair cable, inside the color combinations of this segment for the data sharing over here. This is what the color coding says. Okay. So I hope this twisted pair cable is understood by everyone. So now let's move towards the next topic called as fiber optic cable. So let me write it down the few things about the fiber optic cable. So this is the thing about the fiber optic cable. Let me show you how does it look like. So the fiber optic cable is the same cable that uses over there for the home router connectivity. Exactly. That is the cable. That is what the optical fiber cable we are having. Right. Let me write down its connector as well. Connectors we are having called as SC, fiber ST, straight tip FC, fiber channel LC, lucid. These are the types of connectors that we have. Although we are having the multiples one more. So when we say the fiber optic cable, then what does it mean? When we talk about the fiber optic cable, then what does it mean? What do you understand by the term fiber optic cable? The fiber optic cable says the one point. What? The fiber called as the fiber terms that we use about the plastics and all. The optic represents the 2 point, the glass and your light signals. We all have gone through the point, like in the class 8 or class 7 if I discussed, you all have gone through the optical segment where we talk about the eye optics, and in the 8th class we have talked about the lights and all, how when we send the light, so at what point the images are creating like that. Okay, so that is the optical. So when we combine both of the things means our cable is made up of the fiber which is using the glass cores, which is inside a glass core we are using the light signals for the transmitting of the data, right? You heard it correct. The glass cores inside the fiber one which is using light signals for transmitting the data, and at the speed of light, when we say the speed of light is around like 3.98 to 20.9 or 8 kilometer per second, so you can imagine how fast your data is being transmitted from one place to another. And that is the reason this is the cable which is used for connecting the whole worldwide. So all over the world is connected over the fiber optic cable, and underground the sea underground cabling that we have seen. You might have heard the point that Microsoft is building the underground sea inside a sea data center, and the Geo has dropped some kind of the cable inside the sea. So they are using what kind of cable? Like twisted or coaxial? No, they are using the fiber optic cable, because the fiber optic cable is as much as durable, or we can say that the more durable than the twisted pair and the coaxial cable. Have you ever seen when we are turning the two torch at once, the beam of light is colliding with each other, or the beam of light is interfering with each other? Not at all. The nature of the light is to travel on its own path. It never transverse, it never interact with anyone. That is why inside a coaxial cable, whether you send the data, whether you receive the data, it is not going to create any kind of the collision. It is not going to create any kind of the interference with each other. That is what the fiber optic cable is. And due to this sets of the reason, it is used for a very wide purpose over the server sides, over the all over the world connectivity. And even though the companies are committing that they are giving you, they are also giving you the fiber optic cable for the faster connectivity over the routers. It uses 100 base FX, 100 base BX, and 100 base SX. So 100 represents its transmission speed, base FX, BX, SX first represents the connector, FX, BS, SX represents the connector, and the rest represent in which topology. Also, in the fiber optic cable, one thing varies: topology. The topology varies at every point. In which set of topology our connection is being made, so what kind of the data need to be traveled over here. That is the thing in the fiber optic cable. And these are the connectors that are being used over here. So there is not, nothing as such key we need to sit and build the cable. No, you are having a cable, you are having a connector, just insert it, punch it, and use it. Insert, punch, use. Simple. You don't need to go with the color coding, you don't need to go with the term. You just need to keep in the mind which type of connectors are used at which portion. Even a cable of your hand, like the finger, the length of your finger, the optical fiber, the length in your finger can give you and can increase the transmission speed up to 50 times. The coaxial cable, that is the length of your finger. If you're having the fiber optic cable that is the length of your finger, and you're connecting it at any point with any set of the connector, it can increase the transmission speed up to the 50 times. Up to 50 times. That is what it is. This is the power of this fiber optic cable. So the fiber optic cable previously, like before this Geo's launches the router, it was only used over the data centers and the places where we are using the supercomputers, and for the whole worldwide connectivity. Not everywhere. Okay. So once the Geo launches like fiber optic router, then everyone get to know it is giving you the Geo fiber. Geo fiber. Geo fiber means what? That is giving you the normal router, but the router which is connected with the fiber optic. They uses the fiber optic cable where they are claiming they are giving you the 10 Gbps, 8 Gbps of the speed based on that point. So it generally increase the speed. It generally increase the length, they increase the transmission term. That is what it uses, because it uses the light signals for the data one. It is also of two types. Two types is, the first one is your single mode fiber, means SMF. It uses one single ray of light for the transmission of data from one place to another. This is used for longer distance transmission, and we are having multi-mode fiber called as MMF. So this is used. It uses multi ray of light for the transmission from one place to another. This is the MMF and SMF. So in the MMF, we are only using this MMF for the one side communication. The SMF is only used for one side of communication, where we are only responsible for sending or receiving. That's it. Okay. So we are configuring our server where we just want to store the data, means that is only going to keep the data, not for providing that data. So we'll be using the SMF if we are looking for that point. So this is what the SMF and MMF says. The SMF and MMF are both the purpose which are used in nowadays everywhere. So the fibers that are giving to us for the normal use, that are actually the MMF, not SMF we are having. Okay. So this is the thing about the SMF and MMF. We are having that in the SMF we use only one single ray for the greater range of transmission, and for this purpose we use the SMF in the bunches. Okay, these few bunches of SMF just for sending, few bunches is for for receiving. The MMF is used for the shorter distance, where we say about the short term of connectivity, where we are configuring the server where it is using the read write capacity both. So the MMF is really the cheap, because when we say ki in a single pack we are doing lots of the transmission, lots of the light signals, so it generally goes for the like huge lots of the maintenance, and it require need to be changed after the scheduled time, but not with the SMF. So the MMF is slightly having the lesser durability than the SMF over here. So this is what its purpose use. So this is all about the optical fiber cable that we are having. This is what the fiber optic cable says. Fiber optic or optical fiber or cable optics, whatever the things is, that all the things going to be say the same thing. This is all about the cable. This is all about the networking cable that we have discussed over here. I hope this lecture, this information that we are sharing over here is beneficial for you, and the cable that I have discussed is understood by everyone. If you face any set of the queries, so don't hesitate guys in asking the question. We all are here for the learn. So ask the query. As much as query you are having, please drop it into the comment section, and we are here to give you the replies over there as well. So I wish you all the best for your future sections guys, and please be tuned. We are getting the further classes as well. Further lectures will be uploaded over here as well. So thank you so much over here and giving your time to go with this video, and I hope that you all enjoyed learning this cable. Thank you so much. All the best. Take care guys. Thank you so much.